topic number one is big tech in the crosshairs from the Democrats. We have conversations from the DP as well. Big tech, it's kind of getting out of hand, and they have monopolies across industries in terms of vertical and horizontal integration, where horizontal integration is expanding to businesses that are outside your business, and then vertical integration is expanding in the supply chain, so owning all the pieces of the supply chain, including transportation, raw materials, stuff like that. But the Democrats were putting together a draft of a new bill, an antitrust bill that has a couple of points in it that are taking aim specifically at big tech to try to break up what they perceive as these monopolies. Um, and a couple of other pieces of news with these is besides that bill, right? Companies like Facebook, Google, big tech has been suffering from getting fined from other countries around the world for how they use data, how they use advertising, if they are creating monopolies on their own. So this has already been seen in a lot of other countries. Even in the United States, we haven't really been hitting them that hard from the political side. Other countries have been fining them, and Google, Facebook, for the way they use their data, for the way they use advertising data. And a lot of tech companies are also questioned when it comes to China. A lot of them are based offshore, right? They do manufacturing in China, and there's been talks that the Chinese government steals technology or just at least borrows and learns from it. So kind of with Joe Biden's policy for working against to compete against the quote unquote adversary of China, we want to make sure that that technology is safe. So they're trying to reassess that and kind of have these companies answer for that and say, like, what are you doing to make sure that the technology and the intellectual property is staying safe to keep us competitive with China. But for the bill specifically, for the Democrats, the first draft is still in the works, right? It hasn't been passed, about 450-page thing after months and months of deliberation and research. But some of these policies include limiting the ability to own apps and marketplaces and also sell your own products through. And those are kind of direct shots at Amazon and Apple, right? And the whole walled garden idea, because the App Store, right, on Apple, so you own it, and then you can sell your own products through it. So you create this concept of kind of boxing people into a certain set of products and keeping them attached to those products, as opposed to allowing as much competition for them to leave and branch into other products. And some of the other things are, limiting the ability to complete large mergers, so just direct, kind of keeping monopolies down. Ending platform monopolies, so limits on how you can have a large platform that incentivizes its own products and services that creates a unique disadvantage to competitors. So, creating like same thing with Apple, right? Creating a system or a setup that makes it harder for other competitors to break into the market, right? Just anti-competitive. As well as there was this interesting one, the augmenting compatibility and competition by enabling service switching, the Access Act, which is trying to set standards for data portability and interoperability, making it easier for consumers to take their data with them to other platforms. So the idea there is protecting user data as owned by the user, not owned by a company, which is another big theme we see about how when you buy technology, do you own that technology, right? If you breach the warranty or try to do modifications to it, right? Technically, they say like it's our tech, you can't do that. So that's kind of a big topic as well in tech, is like, do you actually own your data? Do you own your technology? Can you really do whatever you want with it? So you can kind of see in these bills, we're seeing a lot of coming out to target these different parts of tech. So that's going to be something to watch as this gets kind of pushed through, and see how it develops when I have a first official draft come out into the world. So big tech in the crosshair.
Big tech, big tech. Any follow up to that, Jeremy?
Well, I know that Amazon uses a lot of your data, and who are usually the largest big tech guys that are looking at this bill and saying we don't want it?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say Fang stocks are going to be hit. Maybe not so much Netflix, but Amazon. They're moving into telehealth. They're trying to buy MGM, moving into space. I mean, Amazon's expanding in all directions. Apple specifically, I think a lot of this is actually targeted at Apple, and you've seen a lot of that with the Epic Games fight about in-app purchases and how Apple wants to take 30% of that as well. So Apple's whole business model is really coming under fire. The way that they conduct products and the way that they kind of expand their product lines. So, but I think all this is just a kind of a shot across the bow to all big tech, and kind of like a, hey, we've really reserved monopolies for like traditional companies, but now technology is getting very big, and we're thinking about breaking it up or trying to break it up. And also just like Amazon, for instance, they not only own software and all these other cool industries, right, they expand to, but they own infrastructure for the internet, right? Their Amazon Web Services, how much of the internet actually runs and is hosted by their physical infrastructure? And does that give them an undue amount of power and control over the internet, more than just informational flow? So